Welcome back, everyone, to yet another college basketball conference tournament preview. I'm your host, the Big Man on Campus, continuing my ascent into March Madness as I break down each college basketball conference tournament, 1 to 31. Give you a pick, give you a sleeper for each conference. We continue our previews today for March 5th, 2018. We're taking a look at the MEAC Conference, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. We have the the Bethune-Cookmans, the Hamptons, the Savannah States, the NC Centrals, a conference over the years that has been able to provide some upsets. You look at Coppin State back in the day, Norfolk State with Kyle O'Quinn a couple years ago. Hampton has made this tournament in 3 different tournaments with Buck Joyner at the helm. A lot of possible upsets here. Make sure when you're filling out your bracket, you remember the historical significance of the MEAC, a conference that this year is going to be wild. What an interesting year in the MEAC. It's really, I can't remember a MEAC this interesting. You have literally 6 teams that can win this conference. And you look no further than the conference tournament, the conference standings. Coming into this tournament, 3 teams with a share of the MEAC title. Savannah, Hampton, and Bethune-Cookman all at 12-4 in conference. They split the trophy 3 ways, but the real tournament begins tomorrow in Norfolk. Actually begins today, a little bit later with some of the smaller matchups. But what a fascinating conference! And sit back and I'll break it down here for you. Give myself a winner, and I'll go with a sleeper. This conference is interesting because over the years, it's always a conference really devoid of offensive talent. I mean, it's always been a pretty boring conference. Lackadaisical offense, horrendous shooting. You still have that for a lot of these teams. Most of the time, though, they're pretty solid defensively. They're not going to get beat and go up and down the court. But you look no further than we started with Savannah State, a team that you talk about fascinating. What a fascinating team. Second in the country in offense, 87 points a game. They're first in tempo. And when I say they're first in tempo by a wide margin. You look at tempo stats, they're at 87 possessions a game. That is extremely fast. That is, to put it in perspective, you look at the next closest team, which is the Citadel. Many know how quick the Citadel go. They're only at about 80.5. So they average almost 7 possessions more than the next closest team. It's quite amazing how quick they truly go. But then you look at kind of the negatives of being Savannah State and going as fast as you do. You're going to have a bad defense. And when you look at defense, they don't get worse than Savannah State. Savannah State is dead last in the country at 351st defensively. They give up 94.6 points a game. 94. That's more than NBA teams are giving up a game. There are NBA teams that have better defensive numbers than they do. You also put that into perspective of where that is compared to the rest of the country. The next closest defensive team as far as defensive inefficiency. So they give up 94.6. The Citadel, we go back to them, they give up 88.1. So Savannah State is almost 7 points worse defensively than everyone else in the country. It's truly amazing how bad this team is on defense. And you look at why they're so bad. Well, first of all, let's also put into perspective. They've given up 100 points or more 13 times in 31 games. 13. I mean, that's literally 42% of your games you've given up more than 100 points. Amazing. You never see that in this conference, or really in general. You never really see that in the country. Horace Broadnow's team is, and you look at what they do. It's kind of interesting. They literally have jacked up the most 3-point shots in the game. Out of all the teams in the country, they're in the lead in a lot of categories. The problem is they've jacked up 1,272 threes this year. So you equate that to 31 games. That literally means they're jacking up 42 threes a game on average. I've seen games this year where they've shot 55 threes. Here's the problem, though. They're 342nd in field goal percentage from the 3-point line. So they're shooting a ton of threes, but they're only making about 30% of them. Keep in mind, there's only 351 teams. They're 342nd in three-point field goal percentage. So just think if they became efficient from the three-point line. I mean, they'd put up 140 points a game, it seems like, with how open they are with the basketball. It's just amazing how many times this team have seen high-scoring games. And you look at what might happen in the first round of this tournament. Basically, let's say, if Savannah State can, get by NC Central, Coppin State, there's a possible semifinal matchup against Bethune-Cookman, a team that they shared the title with. Bethune-Cookman, guys, they're third in the country in tempo. You're going to see a total in the 180s, is high 170s probably. First game got to 213 points. They're 327th in the country defensively. So you could arguably see the highest total of the season when Bethune-Cookman and Savannah play. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 180 in that game. And I'll probably lay it. I think that's a 108, 105 game, surely. And that would be in regulation. They won't even have to go to overtime for that. The thing I like about Bethune, though, is they're just a little bit more trustworthy. They have a better offensive game plan. Savannah State just jacks threes all night and hopes to go in transition. They're actually both good rebounding teams, though. But you like Bethune just because of Brandon Tabb. Brandon Tabb's a great player, a good guard in this conference. So at plus 385, they're worth a look. But I'm basically flipping on that game, Bethune and Savannah State, which who the hell knows what will happen there. My pick for this tournament, I'm going to actually go chalk and lay it with Hampton. Hampton's just a trustworthy team. They've been so good over the years with Buck Joyner at the helm. He's made the tournament 3 times. I'd expect a 4th time here. I love Jermaine Morrow. I think he's one of the better players in this conference, 19 points a game. They do play a little semblance of defense once in a while. Plus, they're experienced here. It's in their neck of the woods. This tournament should have a nice fan base here. Sometimes you got to go with experience. That's why I went with Iona in the MEAC tournament. They've been there before. They've seen this level of success. They went to the tournament 2 years ago, so they had that success. Joyner knows how to coach this level. So for me, I'll go Hampton at plus 180 as my pick to win. My sleeper, I'm actually going to go with a team that could really throw a wrench in all the plans that I just discussed. I think at plus 750, that's that 6 seed NC Central looked pretty interesting. They'll get by Coppin in the first round. Lavelle Moten's a real good coach. Lavelle Moten's a guy that I often wondered why he hasn't taken a bigger job. He's been in NC Central, has had a ton of success there, was actually honored this year in their Basketball Hall of Fame. He's done a great job, Lavelle Moten, over the years at NC Central. He's really made them into a team that you definitely got to respect each year. And he's kind of been a guy that has arguably been a guy that you would think would move on to bigger and better pastures. Made the tournament twice, actually got to the second round a couple years ago. Made the NIT as well. He's had some real good success. Listen, when you win 60% of your games in the MEAC, it's pretty impressive. Over the years, he's been a real good coach there. I'd imagine at some point he'll move on. But I think with them, with Rayshawn Davis and Pablo Rivas, you talk about a team that actually does care defensively. They do. They're the one team in this conference that you can depend on will play defense. I don't see any reason they can't get by Savannah State. I mean, Savannah is, like we said, they're very tough to stop offensively, but they also don't make any threes like we talked about, and they don't play any defense. I think NC Central in that 6 seed, it wouldn't surprise me to see them make a bit of a run and get to the final game. And at plus 750 in this conference, I think it's a great play. I'm going to go NC Central plus 750. I'm also just going to go out and take the chalk with Hampton at plus 180. The thing I like also about these two picks, they're in bottom halves of the bracket. One's up top, one's at the bottom. We have a real possibility of them making the tournament final. And in that's my goal. I've done that in certain conferences this year. The goal is to get both teams in the final that you take. That way you can just sit back, free wager, make your profit. You look at the NEC. I have the NEC right now. I have LAU Brooklyn and Wagner. LAU Brooklyn's like 11-1. If they win, I'm going to get paid. If Wagner win, I'm going to get paid too. That's where I want to be. So I'm going to go Hampton plus 180 here in the MEAC. Just love what Joyner does there. Like Morrow a lot. And I'm going to go with old reliable NC Central and Lavelle Moton. Just think there's something special. Look, they can lose in the first round at Compton, but I think with the way they defend, with the way that they can keep themselves in the game with a Rayshawn Davis type of player, I think at the 6th seed at 750, they're worth a look as well. And I'll recommend if Bethune and Savannah get to the semifinals, bet the over. I know I haven't been great lately with like my last 3 or 4 over picks, but I mean, I'm telling you, this is going to be a wild game. I mean, you're going to see the highest total of the season in this one. And both will hit 100. You thought Florida Gulf Coast Lipscomb was fun. This is going to be a shit show of a game. Everyone have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the preview of the MEAC today. As always, hit the like, subscribe, and comment buttons. Tell me what you think about your favorite conferences. Let me know who you think will win. I generally try to respond to all the comments. Everyone have a great day. This has been the MEAC Tournament Preview. My picks, Hampton plus 180 and UNC Central, the 6th seed plus 750. Everyone have a great day. I am the big man of campus. Bye-bye.